Hey everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're reacting to Sydney Watson. We're reacting to her video, what's the title called? They're Making Dating Impossible. Which, you know, I might have some valuable insight on because I'm coming from the other side of this. I started watching Sydney Watson most recently because of all the other content creators and VTubers that were reacting to her, so I figured, you know, might as well also react to her. I mean, I like her now. I never used to watch her content, but since people that I had watched started watching her, I started giving her more time, and well, I enjoy what she does. So with that out of the way, let's... Oh yeah, one more point of note. I have to watch my dogs today, in the sense that usually when I'm doing recording and stuff like that, they are being watched by my roommate. But today my roommate wasn't able to watch them, so there it is. If you hear some barking in the background or have like a jarring pause or something like that, like it's obvious a cut or something, sorry about that in advance because they do get loud sometimes. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. Really, girl?
Your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are.
Really?
I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate bullshit.
That's not what people see when they see you with a nose ring.
I want you to look at me and know, Donald Trump, man, honestly.
Well, this is deeply unpleasant.
It is. Hey, don't expect people to be able to approach you.
My name is Sydney, welcome back to hell.
Yeah.
And just a quick note before we do the video, on my tea website, Lions Tea Exchange, I am running a Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale.
I'm not like a huge tea fan, but I mean,
yes,
peppermint white chocolate sounds
sale,
really good.
Including my wooden gift boxes. No code needed, the discounts are automatically applied at checkout. I will link everything in the description box.
I'm getting some
now,
feedback
I
from my
have
mic.
not dipped my little toesy woesies into the dating discussion for quite a while, namely because every time I do, it brings really strange people out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Respect and like.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being attacked by my dog. Kiki. Hey. Listen, I know you're happy to be here, but I need you to stop messing with my leg. Can you do that for me? Good girl. Sorry about that.
Both men and women on this channel, friends. We just don't particularly like buttholes and insane people, okay? This is not a space to just aggressively hate on either sex for no reason, so mind your P's and Q's, or I'll find you and snap your little fingers.
Ow. Ow.
I wish that was more satisfying. That was not worth it. I love that we're starting this video.
It was worth it for me. Oh my god, that actually kind of hurt my fingers.
You know what? Rather than snapping your fingers, perhaps I'll just send you all fish in the mail.
It's like when the mafia send each other fish through the post.
Anyway, one of my dear darling friends sent me this video to laugh at, but
oh boy,
rather than finding it very funny, it just made me incredibly sad for everybody still in the dating world.
I'm sure you've probably seen that person.
I don't even need to watch the rest of the video, and this, I feel sad for everybody in the dating pool.
And that does like messages their Tinder matches first with like the most diabolical, just random shit. I do this too. It's one of my favorite hobbies. So every week I'm going to be making one of these episodes and showing you the things I've said to potential mates.
I won't lie, and maybe I'm alone in
potential mates. If anybody ever refers to you as a potential mate and they're not like taking an academic stance on it, run away. Just run far away.
I think it's a little weird to go out of your way to traumatize men on the internet for views. The lads are simply trying to find someone to love as well. But more importantly, who is intentionally matching with this person on dating apps? Do you have some...
You'd be surprised at what some people find attractive.
Sort of humiliation fetish? What is going on here?
Probably.
Here's one of my first ones from this week. You ever ate a hot dog backwards? I feel like this is a great way to open a conversation, because like there's no wrong answer, you know?
I mean, you know, I guess I'd give some credit. Like, I'd laugh at that, quite honestly, if some random chick had sent me that, or rather, yeah, I guess ostensibly the random chick had sent me that, it'd be like, actually, that's kind of funny. Hang on, let's engage with this in a sarcastic way.
Now this one, I think it's fucking hilarious. Do you think bugs would choose to work a 9 to 5 if they had better health insurance? God knows I would.
I mean, I guess I just don't have any context for what is appropriate and not appropriate on Tinder. I mean, like I said, I had a Tinder like a decade ago. And I don't have one now, and like I said, I never used it anyway, so like I guess I don't know what it's like to get or receive messages on that, but like if I got this just sent to me randomly as like a DM, I'd be like, okay. That's pretty funny. But then again, I love absurdist humor, so
I'm not really sure what the theme is with the hot dogs today.
Do you think leftists tried not to be funny on purpose, or do you think it just happens that way? So because I hate myself,
I would say, like, in the context of what she's doing, it's not funny, but it's unironically funny if you were to be getting, like, if you're the recipient of it, right? So me from the outside being able to see, like, you're doing this just to mess with people, that's not funny. But getting that message would be a little funny. It'd be like, what the fuck's going on?
I went and looked up this girl's TikTok. She calls herself Bunny with an I. All of this is checking out so far. It feels exclusively like this account was made for me to hate watch. Anyway, after scrolling her weird videos, I found that about a month after the clip I showed you, she was banned from Tinder. Yeah, maybe it was asking men weird questions about hot dogs.
You know what?
Just a thought.
Sydney's usually on that side. We're gonna slowly slide over here so that I don't cover her.
I got permabanned on the dating app Bumble for impersonating myself. You got
That's
banned
hilarious.
because you drew anorexic caterpillars on your face. Anyway, apparently women like our friend Bunny here are making dating a lot harder than it needs to be. And during my travels of the internet, I came to find out that this is apparently more of a feature of modern dating, not a bug. And because of women who look and act this way, it's given rise to the term
to be like completely fair, yeah, sometimes there's landmines that exist, these people, but you find just as many people who are normal, I would say, or like unattached to any type of, I would say, crazy ideology. So, like, these people shouldn't dissuade you, but they definitely do make dating a little bit harder.
Septum ring theory, or nose ring theory. So, because my birth year starts with a 1-9, I had absolutely no idea what this meant.
Yeah. I understand that feeling, except I understood what this meant. I was on top of this train for a while.
Had to look it up.
I had to be. Everybody was talking about it.
Women who have a septum piercing, or I guess nose piercings in general, being mentally unwell and psychotic.
All right, kids, I just woke up and I saw this comment and was like, what does this mean? So I did my little research on the internet, the TikTok
Means you're crazy.
search bar, and it turns out that I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't wrong. I'm in therapy, I'm medicated, I'm bi, whatever.
At least
okay, well, you proved it.
they're admitting to it. I don't know what to do with this.
The MAGAs just started calling this like, oh.
Oh, yeah, it's the MAGAs, because the MAGAs are the boogeyman, right? It can't just be normal people who are sick of your shit. Not at all, right? Nothing to have to do with normal people just clocking out of whatever ideology that you're espousing because they're absolutely tired. But no, it's got to be the MAGAs, right? Only specifically the MAGAs, especially the MAGAs in other countries.
Nose ring theory, every woman with a nose.
You know, the foreign MAGAs. The MAGAs that voted for Donald Trump from, like, Estonia. The MAGAs that voted for Donald Trump from Africa. The MAGAs that voted for Donald Trump in droves from Japan. All of them.
Nose ring is apparently crazy. Essentially, what this so-called theory states is that women with septum rings make their trauma, their whole personality, they're unhinged, crazy, and basically it's just a way to discredit.
If you keep talking for more than 5 minutes, I'm going to bet you're going to prove that right.
Denounce and degrade women.
Your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are.
No.
I want to look this way.
No. You are doing the opposite of what you think we think they're doing.
I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate bullshit.
I definitely look at you and see that you're a safe space, and I want no part of it.
I want you to look at me and know Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly.
Sure.
What's going on in the world right now?
I watched like 20 of these videos.
I'm going to 100% bet that I know more about what's going into the world right now than you do. In fact, I'm going to bet that about 90% of the human race knows more about what's going on in the world right now than she does.
Videos of women with septum bars and nose piercings angrily disagreeing with these comments being left on their videos, but without fail, every single one of them was a leftist. Because
Imagine.
stereotypes do actually exist for a reason.
Who would have thought?
It actually annoys me a lot because when I was an emo teenager, everybody cool had a septum piercing and all of us wanted one because they were a real sign of being in the
I remember when nose rings used to be super popular in the sense that like males, females, everybody, men, women, they would have like nose ring piercings and they would be like unanimously cool. However, like she said, that was in a very much earlier time than when we exist now.
alt community, like the actual alt community, not whatever it is today, whatever the kids are doing today. Now, the only
They're
people
playing
who look like
Fortnite.
this are people who have daddy issues so hard they think the government should parent them.
I think it's absolutely hilarious that Trumpers are just now realizing that people who have different views than them have nose rings. Like, yeah.
Hang on, wait, come back. I think that people who may or may not have voted for Trump, but definitely have different views than you, have noticed that people have nose rings. Trust me on this one. They've noticed for at least 4 decades.
Bud, I decided a long time ago I don't want to conform to your beauty standards.
You know, a lot of
Good
these
for
people
you.
are just
Hang on, good for her. You don't have to conform to anything, but you don't have to tell me about it.
extremely alarming.
I can see it.
beings. Like the sort of people who you would reject and then they would go to extreme lengths to find you out in the real world and come to your house. And that's actually entirely possible because of how much of your private information is accessible on the internet through data brokers. So if you don't want to be stalked by one of these insane people, check out the sponsor of today's video, Incogni. You never
used
question protecting yourself out in the real world with pew-pew sticks or pepper spray or your giant...
I am 100% protected by a pew-pew stick at all times.
guns that you make in the gym.
I feel called out.
Your giant guns. I mean yours, not mine. So why wouldn't you protect yourself online as well?
True.
When identity theft is so prevalent and scammers are running wild. Americans, unfortunately, know all about getting spam calls and texts. There are even those
I literally got one the other day.
Videos where scammers will go ahead and clone your voice.
What is it? What did this guy want?
And this disgusting practice is happening because, unfortunately,
I gotta see what this guy wanted. It was ridiculous.
Out there on the web, on data broker websites, ready to be purchased by whoever. I know. It's alarming. I care so much about everybody having privacy on the internet, which is why I work with Incogni, which is why they sponsor this video, and which is why I hope
my
that
phone
you will
is
go
coming
ahead
up
and
for
download
renewal
them once I'm done
from
talking.
a phone carrier that I don't have.
Incogni has had over 1,000 entries
That's
about me removed
awesome.
from the internet, and it was
I'm sure that's
straightforward to
real.
make this happen. I made an account, I gave Incogni the right to work for me, and they set about smacking down data brokers on my behalf. At first, it was really scary seeing how much of my information Incogni has taken offline,
Data
but
brokers
I'm
have,
actually
like,
really
everything.
grateful for it because all too often we hear these horror stories about criminals using data broker websites to steal their victims' information and then use their social security
So my
number,
grandfather-
their addresses, their names. I also
My
really
grandfather
like that they've recently
got
taken
a
this
call
all a
from
step
his
further
deceased
with their custom
wife.
removals, and this basically just lets
She had
you
died
submit web
about
pages
6
that you
months
find
before he
yourself
got a
for
call from
Incogni
her.
to battle on your
And she
behalf.
called
It's
him
important to know that there are
big
a
quotes
lot of
because they were
companies that
spoofing her
claim
number
to do what
because they were
Incogni
able to
does,
get it
but
off of her
Incogni has
death
actually been
certificate, or no,
independently
like
verified
off
by
of something
Deloitte,
else. It had something to
meaning
do with her
they're
death,
the
but
real
that's how they
deal.
got her
so
number.
now is the time
It's just
to
like,
take
oh,
your
okay.
data back with
Awesome.
Incogni, especially if you are worried about data brokers like I am. So click the link in the description.
He was not happy about
or
it.
go
Now,
to
you know what? If my dead wife called me, I would be
incogni.com/Sydney.
very
And
unhappy about that
don't
too.
forget to use code Sydney to get 60% off Incogni's annual plans. What's becoming increasingly clear, and is probably obvious to a bunch of you, is that there is a huge schism that has developed between men and women. And this same group of women
You don't say.
who go out of their way to let you know that they hate men, that they don't need men, that men are terrible, horrible demon creatures, are simultaneously quite confused.
I'm going to be completely fair. I think this happens a lot more often on the internet than in the real world. Yeah, it happens definitely in the real world. I've lived through some of that experience that I've been told in actual like college classes that, you know, men are a lot more problematic than women. But I think for the most part, a lot of this is amplified by the internet, and turning off the internet probably helps a lot. I don't think that this happens nearly as much as it's visible to people who would be on a platform like this watching. So that's comforting to know. But when you do hear it, it's ridiculous, like on its face.
Why they're having so much trouble finding a man to date. More
Yes.
specifically of the liberal variety.
Well, they
This
don't
video is
exist.
for my girlies who are in relationships with liberal men, more specifically people
Sure.
that are just like super down with like human rights, women's rights, don't support genocide, aren't transphobic, aren't
Are you asking if they're down with that, or are you asking if they're down with your version and interpretation of it?
homophobic, aren't racist type shit, you know? I'm curious where you found them.
They
and if you
didn't.
think there's any left, don't get me wrong.
There are
super
none.
happy that you like got your hands.
You will not be attracted to these men. They will not be attractive to you. How do I know? I've literally seen this happen before my eyes. I have watched this same interaction happen. I have known a man who checks every single one of these boxes that you have laid out and prescribed. And every single woman around him who was saying that they wanted these things just completely ignored and rejected him because he was not attractive to them.
Someone, it's kind of giving like ultra rare, like 24 karat gold Labubu type shit. Like that's super
No,
awesome.
it's
Just
not
curious if you
rare.
think there's
Men
any
will
left, and
men will tailor themselves to you because they are absolutely simps, and you do not want to have a simp. Like, good job.
and where you would direct
It's
us
hilarious.
girls to find them.
Honey, they don't exist. They're too busy getting pegged. Jokes aside, there's actually this humorous trend on social media where these women, once again, are asking not only where the liberal men are, but where are the liberal men who behave like conservative men?
Imagine.
I know one of the saddest realizations I recently had was that
No, but you're gonna tell me anyway.
as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship
Would you let him?
in today's day and age, who is not a conservative.
Would you even let him?
A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who
Are you worth it?
has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide,
Do you want him to do that?
who is not a conservative.
Videos like this are so surreal to me, and it's very hard to put into words why, but I'm going to try. I don't think there's anything wrong or weird.
I can. It's because they're lying to you, but we can't, as a society, tell them that they're lying because that would be rude and improper and not okay. I'll do it. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to your audience, and you're lying to me. Stop it.
Or strange or inherently leftist about wanting to be treated as an autonomous, independent person. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's
Sure.
quite strange to participate in the same ideology that has browbeaten men for decades, insisted that chivalry and sort of traditional values are a tool of the patriarchy, and then turn around when you're ready and say, no, I want it now. I personally don't think that treating women particularly with respect.
I'm not gonna lie. If somebody told me, I want you to do X, but they really meant, I want you to do Y, but they didn't tell me that they wanted to do Y and then got upset that I wasn't doing Y, I would leave. And now here we are, 2 decades later, and men are leaving, women most affected.
And decency and kindness and blah 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 should be a left-wing or right-wing thing, just like I don't think that treating men with decency and kindness and love should be a particularly left-wing or right-wing thing.
Sure.
However, in the context of men acting this way, it's typically conservative traditional beliefs that underpin this behavior. I'm sorry it's this way. You've told all the liberal men that everything has to be 50-50 and that you want to be fully equal to him, and he's going to act that out. He's going to expect you to behave in such a way that demonstrates that.
So, I think a good thought experiment that I usually run through with people, if they're professing that they want equality, is when you talk to them about what actual equality means, in the sense that, are you going to force people into having equality in the sense that, say you wanted a 50-50 parity in all jobs of men and women? Are you going to then, via fiat and violence of the government, tell companies that they must hire a 50% female staff for jobs like oil rigging? And then what happens when that doesn't happen because no women would want to work there? Are you going to then force the women to work there? That doesn't sound very fair. Secondarily, are you then going to make women sign up for the draft? Because it's not very fair that men 18 to 35 have to go and die for their country in a cause that they might not even believe in if women don't have to do that. I mean, war sucks. It does. And when you get into the draft, you don't really have a choice of what you do during war. And then they usually demur and say, well, you know, maybe women can do a supportive role or something like that. I'll be like, that's not very fair. So a man has to go do the grunt work on the ground and fight, you know, probably hand to hand if necessary, but definitely shoot somebody and kill them or be shot at and killed. Whereas a woman gets a better job at the back, which is, you know, just dangerous, but not as dangerous or demanding. That doesn't sound fair. So what you really don't want is equality in the truest sense. You want to be treated by your nature as an equal. Okay, that's fine. I think that everybody can get behind that. And I think that, you know, as it is, giving people the freedom to choose what they want to do and recognizing that in that freedom is colored by the differences innate to being female and male, there you go. I think we've kind of reached that. There's no more reason to force people to become more equal, because it won't happen. That's not how free people operate.
And fair enough, you've told him that's what you want. It's no wonder that fertility rates are falling. Everyone is insane.
Yeah.
To be honest with you all as well, I think that the sort of social conditioning that I just described...
Again, I don't think that it's that everybody is insane. I think it's that nobody's really truthful with themselves about what they want, right? So it's like, women say, oh, I want to have a career X, Y, and Z, but like a lot of women also want to have, you know, children. They want to have a family, and that's completely natural. Okay. So be truthful with yourself. Even though your big quotes ideology, end quotes, that you've ascribed to tells you that you can't have that, just say, actually, yes, I do. You'd be being honest with yourself and not being told what to think. Just like men. Just because they keep telling you in your ideology or whatever ideology that you're having that women are bad, X, Y, and Z, but really you want to have a family, then be honest with yourself. All women can't be bad because I want to have a family. Wow. It's that simple. Don't listen to other people telling you what to think. Think for yourself.
Around male-female behavior is probably why a lot of men now actively do not want to approach women, and why women, the normal ones, are finding this very frustrating.
Yeah.
I better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so sick of this shit. Oh my God.
Well, it's because you've been telling me that I shouldn't be watching you or paying attention to you.
Tell me why.
I'm gonna bet you that if I bought that person a drink, I'd be weird. I mean, I don't look bad. I'm like, you know, not to toot my own horn, and obviously I'm kind of puffing myself up a little bit, but I think I'm like, on a bad day, a 6.5, on a good day, about a 7.5 to an 8, right? Depending on how I'm dressing, and definitely with my personality and my outgoingness, probably somewhere in that area. If I were to purchase a drink for that woman, it wouldn't be good enough. Just wouldn't be. And I would be a creep. Why would I do that? You've been telling literally everybody for years, don't do that unless you fit this very narrow vision of what I think the ideal man should be. Okay, then I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you're not worth it. You're literally not worth it, both in like a social sense and in the most extreme of cases. Like, I don't want to have to risk my own well-being. So fuck you. Get out of here.
Every day I go out, looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening.
Yeah, but I can't look at you.
And yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever.
Yeah, because I'm not allowed to look at you. I'm not allowed to even, like, raise my head from the ground, because that would be the male gaze. I'm not allowed to, at any point in my life, think that women are attractive. Unless it is the preferred and allowable space for it. Okay. I'm just not going to do it then. You've lost me.
Oh my god, like please.
No,
Guys don't approach
I'm not gonna
girls
do
at
it.
the bars anymore.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't
Yeah, okay.
expect guys
Sure
to
you
come
do.
up to me, but I know the caliber of my friends, and I know what those bitches look like, and they are some stunning. If guys aren't going up to them, guys aren't going up to fucking anyone. So
Yep.
I think if you're going up to girls at the bar in the first place, whether you say hi, whether you say, can I buy you a drink, whether you use Nick's line, which is a great line, by the way,
Thank you.
I think you have a million times better of a shot.
I think it's worth pointing out, because it often gets lost in this conversation, that a lot of the women who are now experiencing men withdrawing from them, young men withdrawing from them, actually had nothing to do with the messaging that caused that reaction in the first place.
Right.
They were little girls when all of this was being so heavily laid on
And then they were
everybody.
forced
And
to care
now,
about it through the
unfortunately,
system.
They're the ones who are getting kicked in the head by the messaging that generations beforehand had been, you know, forcing onto men.
Yep.
I don't know if I articulated that well at all. Hopefully I did. So I really feel for these young women because they had nothing to do with it, and I feel bad for the young men because they've been...
I definitely feel bad for the women who are experiencing the consequences of the the previous generation. Like, we should never have to be, you know, the ones to bear the sins of our fathers, so to speak. But unfortunately, we have to deal with the consequences of it, because that's just how it works, you know? I don't know what to say, if there's anything to say to make it better, except for if you find the right situation or the right person, it's not going to matter. If you live your life in a genuine way, it's not going to matter. As long as you're honest and open with yourself, you can be honest and open with other people, and they are more likely in turn to be honest and open with you. That's all I can really say.
Once again browbeaten from the time that they were little to sort of go against innate instincts of, you know, wanting to chase and all these fun things. So it's, I don't know, I think everything's pretty screwed up. But this video is not about the women who are collateral damage in all of this. This is about the crazy, psychotic women who are canceling dates because a guy said that he's not interested in politics.
Imagine.
I was supposed to go on a date tonight, but I realized I hadn't asked him enough questions, so I called him. Before.
Okay.
I was like, you mind if we just do a quick little run-through questionnaire? And he's like, yeah.
I'd be like, no. If you have to give me a questionnaire, then you have an agenda. I'm not going to answer your questions because that just doesn't sound right.
Doesn't care about politics.
Yeah.
Doesn't care about politics.
Normal.
So.
This guy will probably never realize, but he did in fact dodge a major crazy bullet. I love that you guys don't even have to tell these
He didn't dodge a bullet. He dodged a whole fucking cylinder.
women that you're right-wing anymore. You can just say, I don't care, and they'll dump you anyway. Once you actually meet men and spend time with them, you realize that they don't really care about too many things anyway. This is not terribly surprising behavior.
Until you find the one thing that they do care about, and then you realize really fast that they really care about it.
These women have actually pathologized having normal conversations in an effort to get to know somebody, to ask them questions to see if you're compatible. Because these people do not live on planet Earth.
I'm here for a date, not a job interview, lady.
The time getting to know somebody as a human being like you normally would, they have instead decided that questions are only for finding out if someone is empathetic and progressive and whatever.
Imagine.
Lord help you guys. Seriously. Imagine having to play progressive 20 questions before you can have the most disappointing sex of your life.
So I have come up with 10 questions that you can ask
glasses.
when you're dating.
Look at them glasses.
See if this person actually has empathy and progressive values without being so obvious. Like they're actually going to have to think about this. So here we go. So the first question is, tell me about a time you changed your mind about something important
I changed my mind right now about swiping right on you.
to you that maybe your friends or your family members didn't agree with.
It's probably pertinent that I tell you that this is the same woman who encouraged her followers to break up with their conservative partners.
Imagine.
Do with that what you will. Is that dog fluff?
Oh my god.
Oh, I get covered in dog
Sydney,
fluff everywhere.
Oh my god, it's dog fluff.
Then there are the women who just patently lose their minds at the very prospect of dating a man with differing political viewpoints.
I cannot believe a man said this to me.
I bet you could also substitute that with I can't believe a man would talk back to me.
Actually, I can. The other day when I posted the video
Proved my
about,
point
like,
immediately.
you know, like wanting a liberal guy or whatever, I had this dumbass literally send me a message, and he was like, well, he doesn't have to be a liberal man. Why can't it just be a man that treats you good? Sir, because a MAGA man isn't going to treat me good. You know why? Let's just start with first and foremost. You voted against my
Here we go.
rights.
Ah, yes. This is a completely normal reaction to someone asking you to be open-minded to a nice man. How dare he? I mean, at this point, I am ready to vote against this woman's rights. Golly. I'm not trying to pick on single mothers, just by the way, because I got love for you ladies, but I knew as soon as I saw this video that this woman is in fact a single mother. Because of the general air of insufferability.
I mean, I can't comment, I don't know.
I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I can definitely tell that this is a difficult person to live with.
I cannot believe a man
To breathe
said
the
this
same
to
air
me.
of.
I don't know, lady. Maybe get your septum pierced. I hear that that's the entry fee to get the therapy that you so desperately need. So I have been both a woman and right-wing more or less my entire life. You know, sort of like oscillating on the right
What do you mean by more or less being a woman your entire life? What does that mean?
wing spectrum. And it's kind of funny because nowadays I find myself to be the most moderate on certain issues than I ever have been previously. Mostly because I think everybody's insane. I am the only sane one. I have built a tower around myself and nobody is allowed to enter or disturb my sanity.
I think the thing is I think a lot of people feel that way. Where, you know, five-ish years ago, it was like whatever. But now you feel very entrenched in the way that you think because you're being told that you should. I mean, really the best way to deal with that is just to not care. That's noble. If you're just like, I just don't care, and you profess that you don't care and you live your life like you don't care, that is a noble pursuit. Don't let anybody ever tell you that that is not a noble pursuit. That is the literal best way to enlightenment, in my opinion, is to just not care about what happens around you because you realize that you are one person and you can't do anything about it. However, if you do care, that is also just as noble, because that means that you are trying to take your agency and utilize your agency in order to effectuate a change that you think is necessary or good, and convince people of the rightness, correctness, and goodness of your ideas. That is just as noble. So, either way that you slice it, either's fine. Just do what you think is right. If you want to just detach, don't let anybody ever try to convince you that you can't be detached. You're not going to be happy if you do what they tell you to. And if you are attached, don't let anybody ever tell you that you shouldn't be attached. You're not going to be happy about that because you're always going to be seeing things not go the way that you want them to go. Do what you think is right. And along the way, try not to cause any adverse harm to people, in the sense that, you know, obviously you should have your beliefs, but don't hurt people because they don't believe in the same thing that you do. You have to try to convince them or allow yourself to be convinced by argumentation.
Anyway, it was always important to me to find somebody who had core values that I shared, because that just generally makes life a lot easier. But I would never reject somebody because they were apolitical, which you guys know is an actual thing here. If a guy is not overtly political, these women just assume that he is a raging right-winger. No, bunny, he just doesn't give a crap about politics. Maybe he's the only sane person in the sane tower with his hobbies.
Yes.
Fishing. Actually, I'm just kidding. A dude with a fishing photo, they would 100% think is right-wing. God forbid a man has hobbies.
As a bi woman, what am I gonna do with that if you don't say that you're liberal?
Okay.
If you're a white man,
Oh, okay. Well, so no, wait. Now we're bringing in race.
and you like my profile. Are you see that I'm bi on my profile? Are you trying to convert me? Are you trying to
No.
turn me straight?
They could just say like, oh, you are within the parameters of what I would say is an attractive person, and I think that it would be nice if we were able to go out together. Full stop. It's not deeper than that. You're crazy if you think it is deeper than that. It's literally, you know, that's what we're here for. And now you're trying to make it something that it's not. Come on, man. Come on, it's not that deep.
What's going on here? What's going on here? Are you liberal but just didn't write it? What's going on?
I'm sorry, this one was a uniquely painful watch.
Yeah,
Delivering
exactly.
to camera in one fell swoop where you just speak words and they make sense and they sound nice is actually quite hard. But if you can't get it correct,
True.
why are you still putting it on the internet? Like, why are you exposing people to this? Maybe we should have just left this one in the drafts. So if you are wondering why this is happening, why dating is so hard, and honestly, this is all pretty self-evident. Like I said, there's
dating
a
is hard to begin with
massive
because it's a
divide
social
happening
game,
between
but
men and women. With women obviously getting much more progressive and them also determining that political affiliation is one of the most important factors when it comes to choosing a partner. And these women want you to know that they hate Trump. They want you to know that they have more extreme political
So yeah, we
opinions
get
in
it.
the
We
leftward
could see it on your
direction, and
face
they're
quite
very
literally
upset
in
that
most
they can't
instances.
signal these things on dating apps appropriately.
What are we doing? Leftists on dating apps, what are we picking? Because I already started the discourse on Twitter, but I want to know your opinion. Are we picking liberal? Or are we picking non-political other? Like, they don't have an option for us. Please
What is that that she's doing? Like, what are you trying to say by that?
let me know. What is worse of two options? Worse or worser? Because I'm having a hard time
Worse or worser?
dissecting
Okay.
if these people are actually leftists, liberals, non-political. Like, we really need a leftist option.
I find this really interesting though.
Okay, are you gonna have the opposite direction of that? At least what you believe the opposite direction of that would be? Wouldn't that be really something?
On a statistical level, and this has been demonstrated over and over and over again, between progressive women and conservative / right-wing women, us righties are much less worried about finding somebody who aligns with us 100% politically. But
Yeah, 'cause we're more
unsurprising to none
open-minded.
of you, the leftist progressive women are incredibly concerned with it. I found one completely insane survey that, if I'm reading this correctly, determined that very liberal women would prefer to date an ex-felon over someone with a differing political view. This is actually so
Wow,
funny because
who
I
would've
found
thought?
this TikTok which basically says he
Not
might
me.
be evil, but at least he's liberal, and I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to use this in this video, but it fits perfectly here, so here you go.
He might be evil, but he loves dogs.
What the because of course you've decided that the felon is less bad than these men who you have decided randomly, arbitrarily, are just as bad as, I don't know, Nazis and want to like steal your uterus or something. With
Imagine.
uterus stealing, we're talking about a different group of men. I hate explaining jokes, but I'm talking about the It's weird because despite liberal
was a bit
women
spicy.
desperately
Oh.
wanting someone who politically aligns.
Can I help you, mister? Is that so? No. Good boy.
They report higher levels of dissatisfaction with life and dating. Wow, I can't imagine why.
I can't imagine why
Let's draw
either.
some dead caterpillars on our face and go figure it out, Scoob. What are you doing?
Aw, there's a doggy dog.
I got groomed yesterday and I'm a pretty boy now. You can't see him. He's a pretty boy now. All right, go away. Be gone from me, vile man. I also want to give props to men here because on a statistical front, and this has been demonstrated over and over, men are just less interested in someone's political views aligning with theirs. Not 100%, just really at all. And I think that's quite evolved.
You want to know why that is? Because it doesn't matter in the abstract. If you are a palatable person and you like me, that's enough for me.
Although other people would argue that's just because men will go after anything with a heartbeat. And maybe there's some truth to that too.
Wow.
I'm going to determine that it's because you guys are more interested in someone being nice and kind and lovely
Wow.
rather than who she votes for.
Imagine.
Modern dating is really hard, and it's being made even harder by these insane, crazy women who are
feel
so
profiled.
fixated on finding somebody who has as extreme political opinions as them, whereas men are just out here like, I just want to find someone who's nice and normal.
Exactly.
So maybe it's actually, maybe the women are doing you a favor then in that case.
Yeah, they're
What I think
self-filtering, which is
genuinely
really
crazy
kind of a
here
favor.
is that men seem to be on a quest to find someone to share their life with, and there's this massive cohort of women who won't even look their way. It doesn't matter if they're apolitical, it doesn't matter if they're a little bit right-wing, it doesn't matter if they're the most extreme right-wing. These women, these progressive women, view all men through the same lens and tar them with the exact same brush.
Exactly. If you are even remotely right of center or even right of leftist values, you are immediately discounted.
Like I said before, I don't think there's anything wrong at all with wanting somebody who shares your core values, because like I said, it makes life a lot easier. It makes doing a bunch of things a lot easier.
Sure,
like
but core
childbearing and all
values
that
aren't
fun stuff.
necessarily defined by
However,
political
I think
values.
that having somebody with whom you disagree on a multitude of topics actually makes life really interesting, and it means that you can have discussions and debates, and you can exchange ideas and grow with each other. If you think the exact same way about absolutely everything, I mean, personally, this is just me. You guys are welcome to disagree, but I don't think that's very fun. And coming back to the videos of the women who are asking, why won't men approach me? Well, why would a man take the risk of approaching a woman when there is a not a 0% chance that he is going to get chewed out because he doesn't align with her?
It's not a non-0% chance. It's actually a high percent chance considering pretty much everything else.
Politically. There's obviously so much to this topic. There's always going to be so much to the topic of dating. And just to be clear, there are a lot of things that obviously we didn't talk about in this video that do revolve around men making dating equally as challenging, but that is a topic for another video. Nope, you guys are not faultless. We blame everybody equally on this channel. But when
True.
it comes to focusing on the women,
I can agree to
just
that.
have a few final thoughts that I want to leave you with.
Especially with like the presupposed biases that a lot of men have because of the internet as well. Like, I think that's definitely very harmful in the way that men approach dating, or at least modern men approach dating.
I asked one of my girlfriends who is a former leftist about this, and she is married with children, and I thought her insight would actually
Former
be quite
leftist, by the way.
interesting into the sort of thought processes going on here. And she told me that even when she was a leftist, her goal was still to get married and have a family, but
Yep.
that was separate from her political views, and more so, she was just focused on having a loving family. But where she sees a big difference with the women of today is that many of them are rejecting family to quote-unquote fight the patriarchy, to combat climate change,
Imagine.
and to not have children, and thus continue ruining the world. And in her opinion, and I guess in mine as well, it's really, really bizarre. It is very weird to base the entire course of your own life on national politics and world politics.
It is.
And I think if we're being real, thinking about relationships and love, and particularly men this way, is just making things so much harder than they
Mhm.
need to be. It's making things so much crazier than they need to be. In the end, jeopardizing your own happiness.
If anybody ever tries to tell you what you should want, just ignore them. You should be able to find out what you want on your own.
Because you continually overlook loving, kind men because they are not foaming progressive leftists is quite crazy. But as far as the men go, I have to think maybe these ladies are doing you a favor, and you are also all collectively dodging one giant bullet. Now,
No,
on
no,
that
no, the
note,
cylinder.
and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Incogni using the link in the description. I am a huge fan of this service. If this is something that you are worried about, I absolutely think that you should check it out as well. Just the
Yes.
other day, I got an email saying that one of my emails had been leaked on the dark web, which was quite alarming.
Oh,
and
that's-
it's really
that is alarming.
good to know that there are services that can help you take your information offline. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all
Yay!
think? Do you think that this particular brand of woman is making dating quite challenging?
Yes.
Do you think it's really the fault of both sexes, that both sexes have terrible things going on and are just sort of talking past each other? Do you think that the divide
a
between
way.
men and women is only going to get larger as everybody gets more and more extreme? What do you think of all of these
Yes.
weird standards that these women seem to have, that they seem to parrot and look for in the opposite sex? Is
They're
it fair?
insane.
Is it unfair? Is it unreasonable given everything that's going on right now? What do
Yes.
you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it
Somebody's trying to control you.
this far in the video.
That's my takeaway.
Congratulations. I always like
you don't know
having
who
you
it
along
is.
the
I don't know who
wonderful
it is,
ride.
but they're
If you are
trying
new
to.
here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well as leaving this video a like and a comment because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback.
Way
Of
ahead
course,
you
like
on that
I always
one.
say, my little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe
Wait,
and well
what?
and make
What
good
did you just call
choices
me?
and be very safe and very wonderful and go and hug your kids and your dog and your wife and all the good stuff and be so happy that probably the majority of you are married and not in the dating pool. I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
Hell yeah. What do you think? Wait, where'd you go? Hi, Loaf. What do you think, Beans? Come here, Beans. Come on, Bubba. He says I'm comfortable in your yesterday's clothes. He doesn't want to come over here. He will not opine on what we just watched. What about you, lady? Where are you at? She won't opine either. She's gone. She's on the tiled floor in the bathroom. Anyway, I definitely think that there are a lot of unresolved issues that people just don't want to talk about because they can't be truthful with themselves. And once people start becoming more truthful with themselves, then we can start talking about it. But until that time, we're still going to be lingering in this awful, dismal place. With that happy note out of the way, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you go subscribe to Sydney Watson and like this video. Again, the video is titled "They're Making Dating Impossible." Like I said, I like Sydney Watson. She, in my opinion, has some pretty good central, maybe even slightly center-right takes. But I like listening to her because she gives somewhat of an opinion from that side of the aisle, and it's kind of hard to find that, especially from women on the internet nowadays. So, yeah, give her a like and a subscription. All right, have a good one.